So this is the last session of the day, last session of the Q2B Tokyo 2025. So here's our title, Q2B 2025 to tomorrow, insight and future directions for quantum. And so we have from Q-Star, we have Mr. Taro Shimada, and also we have Mr. Yu-ichiro Matsushita from Quemix. We didn't have any rehearsal, any briefing before this fire chat, so there may be some spicy topics. I hope you will stay tuned. So, well, thank you very much for participating for the last 2 days. Well, we had very attractive, very fun, very intriguing presentations. So maybe we can start with you, Matsushita-san. What were the impressions? Were there any very any presentations that you found very impressive or overwhelming, or any exhibitions? The memorable ones was the software algorithm development presentations, because that's what we do. So I found many presentations by people from academia, like Ricken's activity, for example. Personally, I got a lot of inspirations from their talks, because I really felt that the technology is really maturing, very close to the commercial applications. And also, when I listened to Professor Taruta, the fidelity is so much advanced. It surprising, more than I expected. So I was really kind of blown away. Thank you. Yeah, I could see that you were really impressed and inspired as a researcher yourself. Yes. What about you, Mr. Shimada? Yes. So this is event coming from Silicon Valley, but now you have this event in such a full ground scale in Tokyo. That's great. But actually, this is a proof that Japan is getting a lot of attention too, because I have people from around the world. One of the important points I found in this event this year was, just as Professor Taruta said, well, there are many things that need to be studied and explored, and yet the most interesting about the quantum is the business development and technology development are happening at the same time. It's like agile development. And actually, if you don't do that, other people will eat your lunch. People are afraid of that. That's very interesting about the quantum technology advancement. So that is part of the reason why we are seeing something that didn't happen in other technologies in the past. And what is great is that Japanese government is really strong, such a move strongly. And Representative Kihara said in the morning, do you remember what he said? Said that in this auxiliary budget, there is like 100 billion yen given for that purpose. And then he said the number 600 billion yen in the main budget. And so, and this amount of money, this budget is not given to only Japanese companies. It's going to be used openly as long as the money goes to the development of the quantum ecosystem. So it was a very strong message, I thought. So finally, Japan, which has been dormant for some years, is going to really work on the development of the successful quantum systems. I'm sure you got that feeling during this past 2 days. 600 billion yen. Wow. What are we going to use that for? We have to use it. We should use it. We must use it. Well, personally, what I found very interesting was, Shimada-san, your talk, your first talk. It was in English, so I don't know if I understood the contents 100%. So I want to ask you, just to make sure that I understood you correctly, you at Q-Star is working on the development of the ecosystem, and also you said that you Q-Star exists to make sure that Japanese the quantum industry is to make it globally competitive. And now, looking at the situation from software vendors like us, software stack, you remember if you attended Shimada-san's session, well, in the domain of software, there are different layers in the software stack. And you use the word open so many times. You said that software stack needs to be open. What did you mean? What I meant is that in order to ramp up this quantum industry, I mean, that's our goal. That should be our goal. And so for that to happen, each vendors have different problems and requests. And if each company try to solve all those problems independently, the speed will be too slow. So the key point here is the shared and efforts, the collaboration. So that's what I said by making the whole software should be open. So people who made a software technology or other people who made a specific hardware technology, they should just wrap the piece of technology that they developed so that it can be connected to other technologies. Then other people don't have to reinvent the wheel. I said this many times in my presentations. We use the word reinventing the wheel often, and it does make sense to do it. If somebody else invented it, why don't we just use it? This is a common sense in digital world, and I think in quantum industry, which has not materialized yet, that should be also the guideline, the principle when all of you are trying to develop the software stack. So it means if everybody is trying to invest or develop the same thing many times, it doesn't make any sense. It will slow down the whole process, right? Yes. I am a president of a company. As a CEO, let's say, I don't want to have my developers saying, well, actually developed it, but it's now wasted. So let me give me another money to reinvest to work on something else. So it makes just business sense too to reuse what's been developed. Now we have many more and more components have been developed. So we have to make sure that those already developed components to be used. And so what's important here is, well, most of the components actually can be developed without deep knowledge about quantum technology, maybe 5 or 10% genius experts. They are necessary to develop the core, very quantum part, but the rest of it can be developed by engineering or marketing or rule development. Now, if that is the case, thinking about how we can use this 600 billion yen, I know I'm the president of the company, so you wouldn't need to that amount of money just to develop the basic research, because if you just do the basic research only, you won't have the commercialization. You have to prepare all the other elements to take advantage of what's developed in the research, the basic research. So I think one of those. I think you are one of those genius people who can develop the core technology, Mr. Matsushita. What do you think? Well, I have a question to Shimada-san. You said wrapping because we're a software company, so we know. We understand that. So you're saying that we should wrap our technology. Who decides that wrapping? Is it majority voting, or this among the 600 billion yen? Will there be systems to help wrap the technology that we develop out of the using some money out of the 600 billion yen?
In terms of standardization, there has been misconception in Japan. We have detailed definition, so everyone can be reproduce something that is created. That is also part of standardization. But in the digital world, standardization is more lax. The rules are not so rigid. XML, for example, all you have to do is parsing. If you read a header, you can reread it. It's a very simple, robust rule. That is why that is used widely. Or a lot of people already use Java, so let's make JSON available. Make sure connections done over Java. That's a common sense for everyone to be able to use it. So accommodate that. The complex things should be hidden because of that. If that progresses, the layer thickness may be thinner, a new layer may be replacing the old layer. But in the beginning, what we want to see is to make it easy for everyone to use. So we want to make sure that we can start simple. Are you convinced? Now, 600 billion yen. That be support given from that money for wrapping? Looking forward to that. If the idea makes sense, if it's going to help a breakthrough in the society, nobody would complain using that part of money. Thank you. So Shimada-san and we are operating our own companies. So we receive investors' money. We are obligated to give return to investors. So it's not just us, but we have ambitions that we want to be a winner as a private company. Yes, you do have ambition. Now, including hardware companies, well, especially hardware companies, they tend to have full stack product and services. So what we are trying to do is really the opposite business model. That is what you're thinking, correct? The old way of developing products, we had small number of developers, so that was okay. That was pretty common. Or you can import ideas from overseas and brush that up and improve, create a better supply chain so that we can deliver products and services to final customers. That could be one way of achieving our ambition. But today, we have so many people doing different things, and there are genius doing research at an unprecedented pace. I think it's a slim chance that one company can be a clear single winner. So yes, we do need a vertical integration to a certain extent, but open ecosystem in the digital world has proven successful. So what has been already built should be made available to all the others. And that concept has proven successful. And it's obvious if you look at the whole wealth being built and accumulated. Now, that is what Mr. Kihara, the LDP member, the Diet member, said. During 1980s, top 30 companies in the world had 20 Japanese companies, but in the digital age, no Japanese company has made it to the top. So in the next era with quantum computing, are we going back to what we used to do in the past? I think the answer is obvious. No. So in order for us to make headway, G-Quad, various tools, use cases, charts, we want to make sure all the necessary components are available. You're saying that one single company becoming a clear winner is very difficult. That's not what we want, is it? So Matsushita-san, what do you think? You want that? Well, since the beginning, FTQC is something that we have focused on. It has been the sole focus. And we thought that we were a leader in this industry. And we want to keep leading this industry. We want to be the very first presenting new use cases, creating new use cases. We want to get all. That's our ambition. We'll have a talk with him later on. If I'm an investor, I will have something to say to you. But in order for a company to succeed, you have to consider a business model to make that happen. As we learn what you say from what you say. So I think we are running short of our time. But this week, Mr. Shimada, you have been invited to different events. This coming Sunday, there is a large event that you will participate. Yes, G-Quad opening, official opening on Sunday. I'll be there. So personal observation is that there are so many events. I need time to run my company too. So events, all of these different events, you know, you can sort of combine them together to have a large event at one place at one time. 1,000 people can participate there. Well, this week we had Sushi Tech, Q2B, and G-Quad. You're very busy this week. But it's very important to show the excitement. Metaphor that I use is, when you surf, nobody will chase waves. You have to stand up at the moment waves rise. So you have to be prepared, waiting for a wave. That's the moment they have to capture. That's exactly what's happening in this quantum industry today. So lastly, the last question to both of you. Now, Q2B is a very valuable place for us. So what's the meaning of this event, Q2B? What is your expectation out of Q2B going forward? Starting with Matsushita-san, please. So we are developing software algorithm so that we'll be able to solve your real practical problems with quantum computers. That is our use case. And we want to do it fast. We want to be the number one, and we want to keep announcing the latest information to surprise the audience, doing this every year at Q2B. I want to make the best possible presentation at Q2B every year. So Mr. Shimada, your turn. Q2B, starting in Silicon Valley, comes to Tokyo, having this big event. Japanese researchers who have been engaged in quantum for many years have shown the effort level. So we want to invigorate Q2B so that we can showcase our presence in the world. So let's come back next year as well. Thank you. So thank you very much. With that, we will close this Q2B session. But very lastly, I want to thank all the participants for staying on to the end of this program, and sponsors as well. They have provided us rich, abundant information. And more than anything, QCB, who has provided this venue, and all the people who are involved in operating this event, I want to extend my heartfelt thanks. Looking forward to meeting all of you next year at Q2B 2026.